My wife's movie club watched Hunt for the Wilderpeople, a 2016 film. The movie is satisfying in many ways. It is fun to watch, it is well paced, it is a well made movie, and there are resonating themes of belonging and family, death and loss, the dangers of rumors and jumping to conclusions, and self reliance versus central reliance. Ricky Baker has been abandoned by his mother and entered many foster homes. This is an individual problem and a societal problem as well. The benevolent government has stepped in to help. Officer Paula from Child Services is in charge of him, and the film starts as she takes Ricky Baker to Bella Faulkner and Uncle Heck, her husband. Ricky surveys the area and decides it's not for him. Officer Paula anticipates failure for Ricky because he's just a bad egg. We could ask why he is bad. If statistics have anything to say about it, his lack of family situation may have a large impact on that behavior. After Bella takes him in, Ricky doesn't belong, or at least he doesn't think he does, and he runs away. Bella is patient, and while staying true to herself, she offers something no one else seems to have offered in a long time, a family that loves him. Heck stays distant, but Bella is able to break through to Ricky by taking him hunting, showing him how to clean an animal, giving him a dog for his birthday. She doesn't have the same rules and regulations as Child Services does, and she's able to speak her mind. It may not be the nicest thing, but her approach is honest.
You hungry? That's a silly question, isn't it? Look at you.
Child Welfare Services says things like, "No child left behind," and "let's get this precious child out of here," but her actions are destructive and combative. They're pretty negative.
He's a spanner in the works, and I'm the mechanic who's going to take that spanner and put him back in the toolbox.
Okay.
Where he belongs.
Right.
No child left behind. No child left behind.
To her, this is a bad child that needs to be saved. But to Bella, he is a boy who needs to be given responsibility and who should have a loving environment to grow in. To Child Services, he must be controlled, steered, and corralled. But to Bella, he should come home for dinner after he runs away. Bella shows him compassion while respecting boundaries. You may remember the scene where at night she's tucking him in and says, "Are you going to run away tonight?" And he says, "Not sure." She says, "It's cool with me. Just make sure you're back in time for breakfast. So happy we found you, buddy. Sorry it took so long." It's the same for Heck. With Bella, he maintains the ability to be who he is, but to the government, Heck belongs in jail. What was his crime exactly that he must be locked up? Why bring tanks and multiple units? Because they can't stand him being himself. Thinking for himself, they can't stand that they don't control him. Ricky decides he would rather live in the bush than return to Child Welfare Services. So he fakes his death. He runs into the wild place. After feeling part of something with Bella, he dreads going back to the care of the state. Ricky calls Heck and himself the Wilderpeople because that's where Ricky and Heck go after Bella dies. They live in the bush or the wilder, and therefore they are the wilderness people or Wilderpeople. This is a place of freedom. This is a place where Heck and Ricky get to know each other, sometimes not in the most pleasant ways, but they build a relationship. It is a wild place with hazards and dangers, and without the typical restrictions of society or a governing department that tells you where and how to live. The governing laws of the bush are the laws of nature, which take time for Ricky to learn. In the bush, Ricky sees a hula bird, which is believed to be extinct. It is of great worth, and Heck recognizes this. The bush and the bird speak of freedom, uniqueness, and individualism. A one-of-a-kind bird, a one-of-a-kind boy, and Heck are the wild ones.
Didn't they ask who did this? Tell them it was the Wilderpeople.
The what people?
Ironically, society would limit access to the wilderness if they saw the bird, because they know that society would likely destroy the bird's habitat. Yet we see vigilantes, Child Services, and other police enter the bush and the wilderness to track Heck and Ricky and bring them back to society. What societal structure? Ricky back into Child Services and Heck to a prison, which kind of looks like a halfway house. Paula and the police intrude upon the wilderness and the hula bird because they know better, because they need to make decisions for other people's lives. Now, nature should be tamed. I believe that mankind has the ability to keep the garden and improve or make it more beautiful. I know that there are many who think that mankind is the disease, and there is some evidence that may support that. However, the most destructive thing in society is the oppression and laws that take away freedom. A governing body who says it cares takes away your ability to make choices and live. Nature should be tamed, but not destroyed. You should decide how you want it to grow, not someone else telling you or forcing you. The wilderness is a symbol for freedom and responsibility. Actions have consequences, and Heck and Ricky show respect and change behaviors based on those consequences. The film shows us how beautiful the bush is, but it also shows us there is danger there. Paula acts as childish as Ricky, because she is. If you've assumed that government is somehow better than all businesses or people, then you've forgotten it's made up of people. The only difference is that government has no limits on what it can do. With people in business, if you don't like their services, you go elsewhere. But with government, if you don't do what they want, you go to jail. The Hunt for the Wilderpeople could serve as a cautionary tale about government overreach and loss of freedom. In 2020 and 2021, Australia's government shut down the nation, built prison camps which they used on their own citizens. They jailed people for no reason. They killed dogs on the streets. They tackled and beat unarmed people for being outside their homes, and they hunted Aborigines. They had their justifications, but really it just came down to the government had the power, and they chose to take away people's freedom. This film raises a real question about what is best for us, government control or freedom to live with responsibility for our own actions. There is a risk and a danger in the wilderness where the Wilderpeople are, but it doesn't justify taking away people's freedom. I love this movie, and I hope you did as well.
Yeah. Leave me alone.
Cool.
Alive. They should be alive.